Good afternoon, everyone. Rajiv Chopra speaking from the Dusty Mike Chronicles. I'm not sure how many of you have heard of Rajneesh, and he went by many names. He started with Rajneesh, called himself Bhagwan or God Rajneesh, and then when he moved to Oregon, I think, he called himself Osho. As per rumor, he was a history teacher somewhere in the middle of India before he became a godman, and he first set up an ashram in Pune, which we now call Pune. And he attracted film stars and people from all around the world. And all of us thought of him as some sort of a sex guru. So when I was a teenager, my friends and I, and all of us, little horny little devils that we were, we'd gather at my friend's house and look across at the building opposite, hoping to see some of these young women from Rajneesh. I'd like to confess that our thinking those days was limited, but that's the way it was. What do you expect from a teenager who's just discovering his hormones? Now, if I fast forward by about 15 years, I was wandering in a market in Delhi, Green Park Market, and I picked up 4 cassettes. Those were the days of cassettes. 4 cassettes of his talks. One based on a sentence by one of the most beloved Sufi poets of Punjab, Baba Bulle Shah. He titled one Creativity, he titled this other one Boredom, and the third Death. All 4 are intense, and I've forgotten most of what he said in all 4. The most intense was the one on death, which I have sadly completely forgotten, and I can't find that talk anywhere now. I'm going to talk about boredom now. And once again, I don't remember much of what he said, but there is one central message that stood out for me. He said that those who are meditating, all these priests and all these various sadhus or whatever you want to call them, whether they are meditating on a particular mantra, repeating it again and again and again, or counting their rosary and walking up and down like many of our reverend brothers did. He said that despite claims that all these mantras carry, some sort of sacred power, and that they vibrate to the, to the vibrations of the universe, he said that's all rubbish. He said complete bullshit. He said those who attain enlightenment by chanting these mantras do so because they get so bored chanting and chanting and chanting the same thing and over again that at some point their mind breaks free and they suddenly find release, and maybe they find nirvana, which means release, or their version of God, whatever. Now, what does this have to do with your creative endeavors or even your business endeavors? What drives you? I often look at the work that I do and I get bored. So I was telling a few of my photography students that one of the forces that drives me and my continuous search for new creative expression, and this applied to me even when I was in the world of business, a good solid corporate citizen. When I reflect back on my work and even the work I do now, apart from this grand desire of leaving a great legacy, I often got bored with what I did. And I am convinced that boredom drove me to explore new avenues and new styles, new ways of writing, new ways of doing photography. Does boredom drive you? Or in these days where we drown in the quicksand of social media, do you channel your boredom to social media and allow yourself to drown? Or do you channel your boredom into something more positive, something more creative, and allow boredom to drive your creativity? And do you allow boredom to drive your creative juices? Think about this. Let me know what you think. Join the conversation, post a comment, share this podcast, and see you next time. Once again, now I sound a bit crazy right now, a bit cliched when I say signing off, Rajiv Chopra from the Dusty Mike Chronicles. Yeah, that is quite cheesy. See you next time.